Yay, we're under contract. Now it's time to move. Hi, I'm Caroline Gow in the Baird & Warner Glenbrook office, and welcome to Caroline's Real Estate Chats. Moving is one of the most daunting tasks that buyers and sellers face. They have to decide what to pack, what to unpack, and they tell us by the time they've moved in, they are done and they're never moving again because there's so much stress involved. So to answer some of the most often asked questions that I get, I've brought Stephen Price with Glen Ellen Storage Corp., an agent of Mayflower, to answer some of those questions and help us out. So, Steve, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And so, can you tell us one of the first steps that somebody needs to do to take when they're getting estimates and choosing a mover? How do they start?
Absolutely. First of all, what I would suggest is they can call us, they can call our office and schedule an appointment to have me or another salesperson come to their home and do an estimate. And before they do that, I would suggest they walk through their home and decide what they're going to move. They need to make a decision. Is everything going to fit in the new home, or are there things that they're going to get rid of? And then they can have a plan for those items.
Got it. And is insurance usually included?
There are two types of moves that we're going to talk about. Local moving, which is within 35 miles or so in the state of Illinois, and there's interstate moving, when you're moving out of state. So for a local move, a mover's liability is based on 30 cents per pound per article, which means if a flat screen TV that weighs 50 pounds is damaged, 30 cents times a 50-pound TV is only about $15 of responsibility. That's what's free. It's what's included in the rate. So you want to talk to your mover about adding additional coverage.
Okay.
You may also want to talk to your homeowners. For an interstate move, we automatically include coverage based at $6 per pound in our estimate.
Okay.
So if you're moving a 8-room house and it's 10,000 pounds, we're going to have $60,000 of coverage, and they can increase that amount. That's a starting point.
Good, so you should check that. Okay. And how big a crew should I have?
Now, that would be primarily for a local move. An interstate move is going to be determined by the weight, and the bigger or the more you're moving, the more men they're going to add. But for a local move, your mover is going to choose a crew based on what they feel they can get done in a day. So there's an average crew is 3 men in a truck. However, if you have more or need to move more in a day, the mover may add 4 or even 5 men. If you start getting beyond 5 men, there's a good chance you may need 2 days for your move.
Wow, okay.
You know, load one day and deliver the next. You also may need to do that because of closings.
Right, so it is possible to do both closings on one day, move
Correct.
out the day before, move in on the following day. A lot of people do that and just store the stuff in the truck
Absolutely,
one
we
night.
can hold it on a truck, or if you needed long-term storage, we can do that as well.
Cool. And what kind of things should I move myself?
We can move everything for you. What I would suggest is at the minimum that you at least pack a suitcase maybe with any medications, any things you would need overnight, toothbrush, just so you know where they are. You may want to move any high-value jewelry, yourself. The movers can move anything else. Now, if you're moving locally, the move is hourly, so time is money. So what I would suggest is if you go ahead and say, I've got a few days to move, maybe you move things like high-valued art or computers or stereos or things like that. Again, the mover can move everything, but the more you move, the more time you save.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. And are there things I should get rid of before you come in to help us pack or move?
My rule is get rid of anything you don't want to use or you're not going to use. So get rid of anything that you simply haven't used in 2 years as a rule of thumb, things that won't fit into your new home, just anything you've outgrown. Because again, you're paying someone to move it, so why move something that you're not going to use?
Right. Right. I always tell my clients, pack once, pack early, and then you'll just move it to your next house and see it there. Good. Okay. So we talked about packing. Can your company help me pack?
Absolutely. We can pack as little as 1 box. We can pack the entire house for you.
Okay.
For local moves, and we also help customers out with cartons. So really, whatever level they're at, we can help them. So what I suggest to them is, as they're doing that walkthrough, start asking, do I need help with packing? Or do I want to save money on the move? And let's get those numbers kind of in line before the mover comes out. So do I want them to pack my kitchen? We can absolutely help with 1 room. We can help with the whole house.
What about boxes? Should I get boxes before you come?
I just heard feedback from a customer. They bought boxes from 3 different sources before the move, and they said the boxes that we had provided for the move were sturdier and held up better.
Okay.
There's no problem with getting boxes from Home Depot or Menards or U-Store-It. I think U-Store-Its tend to be more expensive. So I say use your buying power and go directly through your mover. And sometimes they'll even include some boxes at no charge.
Right, and when I did it too with you, you gave me, it was a rental program, so
Absolutely.
then you could get rid of the boxes and get some money back. Yep.
And we've, for example, on the local moves, we'll supply wardrobes free of charge on move day.
Yeah.
So all the hanging clothes can go inside the wardrobe cartons. And then the customer unpacks them and we take them away at the end of the day.
I love the wardrobe boxes because you could throw all put your cushions, your pillows, and your shoes, everything in the bottom, and then you get a lot of use for that. Okay, can I move open liquor?
Yes, just make sure it's in a sealed box or sealed bottle so that it doesn't leak. We don't want to take anything on the truck that could leak. Also, we can't move anything. The things we can't move are things that are flammable, propane tanks, fire extinguishers. You don't want to move a gallon of bleach. What happened if it leaked and it's next to your sofa? Things that are explosive or gas cans. We can move the alcohol. Just make sure it's in a bottle that's sealed. If it's packed well, label it as fragile, point it out to the movers, and they can load it separately from anything that it might affect if something did happen.
Got it. So if I had a choice of a date to move, if it's early in the month, end of month, does it matter? Is there a best date?
So we're coming into the summer. Summer is the busiest season for movers, and the last week of every month is the busiest week of that month. Okay. So weekends tend to be overtime for most movers, and you're going to find that the week of June 28th will be extremely busy. Same with the last week of July, the last week of August. So if you can avoid it, definitely move earlier in the month, move during Monday through Friday, and Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays tend to be a little easier to schedule than Thursdays or Fridays.
Sure, that makes sense. Same with closings, right? All right. What could I expect on moving day?
So the movers are going to show up. You'll get a call from us the night before telling you the crew will be showing up at, say, 8 to 9 in the morning. They'll show up, they'll take a walk through and look at what you're moving. They're going to protect your house from damage, and then they're going to start loading the truck if that's a local move. If it's an interstate move, they're going to number each item going on the truck, an inventory, and again, then start loading. So they're going to load from throughout the entire home. They're going to try to load large furniture. They'll pad it, protect it, then they're going to load boxes on top and then light things on top of that. So their job is about maximizing the use of the space on the truck, empty the house, and then go deliver and put everything back into your new home. So it's an involved process and can take quite some time. That should be spelled out in your estimate so you can plan accordingly. So if you have an estimate with 3 men, 8 hours, you can plan on about 4.5 hours for loading. If it's an interstate move, after the salesperson's seen it, you can ask them approximately how long it'll take. It takes a little longer to load because they're loading for going out of state, so they need to conserve space, and they have more paperwork to do. So it might take, just a little longer, say, per pound. But
don't they wrap it more for interstate?
Well, the mover should protect your furniture either way. So they should blanket wrap all of your wood furniture, fragile items, things that weren't boxed, as they're loading or before they load the truck for either move. Probably a little more involved with an interstate move. They're going to go ahead and make sure the pads are even more secured to the piece of furniture. Again, they're loading tighter. They want to take time to utilize the space on the truck.
Got it. And then one last question that people always are uncomfortable to talk about, but gratuities. How much do you tip your movers?
Okay, like anything, you can tip them whatever's comfortable. I would say somewhere between 40 or 50% of customers tip it all. On an average move, they might give the guys $20 each, for loading or $100 for the crew. If you think they did an exceptional job or went above and beyond, you can adjust accordingly. I'd imagine our guys have received tips anywhere from $20 to $100 each, depending on the neighborhood they're moving in and the type of things they were moving.
Got it. Okay. Thanks so much, Steve. I really appreciate having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Thanks. These are the kinds of invaluable insights I share with my clients when they choose to work with me. Hire me today.